Welcome to Learned and Go-Go, the podcast. Hey, I am Sydnee A. I am your host for Learned in Go-Go, the podcast, and I am also the author of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go, How a Preacher's Daughter Pole Danced Her Way to Finding Her True Self. And I am so excited to be here with you guys tonight. It is a new night that we're going to be doing this on Wednesdays, and I hope that you will join me each week. It's pretty funny. I came on here to start the program, and when I logged into the platform that I use for this, it connected me back to the goddamn program, which I do on Saturday nights with a couple of my friends. So I was completely thrown off. So if I sound a little frazzled, I think it's new night. It's equipment not doing what it should be doing, but I want to thank you so much for joining me. And already, hey, Lizzie, I'm so glad you're here, sweetie. It is so awesome to see you here on Wednesday. Just a quick little plug for my book, since I named my podcast after my book. And I always forget to plug myself because I get so excited talking to you guys, I don't think about it. So you can pick up your copy at learnedingogo.com. And I love and appreciate all of you who have already picked it up. Thank you so much. I hope that you are enjoying it. And as usual, I have no agenda for tonight. I want to see what is going on with you guys. We're already like most of the way through September. Autumn is right around the corner. So tell me in the comments where you live. Is the weather changing already? Is it still Satan's taint hot? Like, what is it like where you guys are? For me, it is still pretty summery out. We had a couple nice fall days, but then it went back to being really warm again. And then today it got rainy, but it didn't cool off. It's just like gross. So I'm looking forward to fall weather. I am looking forward to, bonfires and crisp air and fall leaves. I love autumn. That's like my favorite season. I love Halloween. I love Thanksgiving. I love food. So like fall is really good for me because of that. Oh, yay. Erin is here too. Welcome, Erin. I'm so glad you guys are here. Happy hump day, everybody. It is Wednesday. So yeah, I'm definitely looking forward to spooky season. Like for me, spooky season's year round, but I like when the season matches, my little black heart. So I'm very much looking forward to Halloween and getting the decorations up and stuff. Oh, wow. All right. So it's still in the 90s in Texas where Lizzie is. That's, like I've been noticing that it seems like the seasons are shifting. It used to be around, the end of September, things would start cooling off. Now it seems to be summer into October. And then we don't get the really bad winter stuff until like February, March, where it used to be end of December. I just feel like there's a big shift going on. I know you guys get really super duper hot weather in Texas. So try to stay cool down there, especially when you've got all the makeup effects on for the movies you guys are working on. Super duper cool shit that my friends do. And I'm very excited to see. There's Killer Cox. There's The Legend of Bloody Bones. There's Curse of the Ghostwriter. There's a bunch of us were just in The Power of Positive Murder. So please, please, please support indie movies, indie art, indie music. It's really important to lift up everybody, including those of us that do not have major Hollywood backing. So thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Tanya's here. Hey, sweetie. It's going to be high 80s here in Cincinnati tomorrow. Wow. See, and that's what I mean. It seems like it's hanging on. And I love summer in the summer. But once it's done, it can shoo. I don't want to have to run the air conditioner most of the year. Like, I'm ready for nice fall, have the windows open, like we have 2 dogs, so you got to kind of blow the stink out because, all the dog hair everywhere. Um, yeah, like I'm very much looking forward to that. Um, and I'm ready. Like once September hits, I want to get all the ghosts and goblins out. We have a couple animatronics. I want to get them out. Like it's a lot of fun. Although my youngest asked if she could borrow one of my full-size skeletons that I have. I have 2 that are like people size. They're not the humongous ones you get at Home Depot, which I would like to have. Maybe if I win the lottery someday, I can get a huge guy. But 2, people-sized ones. And my youngest, who's living in the dorms this year, asked if she could borrow one of them because they have a tiny skeleton they named Bob. And then they have a skull that they named Bob. So she wanted to have a people-sized skeleton who is also Bob. So I'm down to 1 skeleton for Halloween happily because Bob is hanging out in the dorm with my daughter and her suite mates. So I think that's pretty funny. Oh, thank you, Aaron. He says, you're knocking it up. You're killing it yourself. You're knocking it out of the park. Thank you. It's because of you guys. It's honestly because of you guys including me in the fun. And I appreciate it so, 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 so much. And Tanya says, the warm weather is happening later and the cold weather is happening later, calendar-wise. Exactly. That's what it seems like it's shifting. And like, I don't know, astrology-wise, I don't think you can change the seasons because it's, the autumnal equinox, isn't that what it's called? And then like winter solstice, summer solstice, like they all happen during those certain months. So I don't think we could actually say, okay, well now summer's going to be from this, it's June to September, right? We can't really make it July to October because of the other things going on. I don't think that's possible, but it's definitely changing. And I don't know why. Like, I don't know if it's just like all the people that are, saying this never happened before. We don't know that. Like our planet's been around a whole lot longer than us, and we don't know what it was doing before we got here. Maybe this is like the Earth's normal, and we just don't know about it. Yeah, Aaron. He said, I'm not going to upset Nick, so I'm a good son. So that's a reference to Aaron has a movie, The Legend of Bloody Bones, and there's going to be a sequel, and I get to play his mom. So I'm so stupid excited about this. Thank you. I cannot wait. And yeah, so anywho, haha. Do you guys love Halloween? Are you people that do not like to celebrate Halloween? I know those people are out there. I personally love it. It's probably my favorite holiday. So let me know in the comments if you are a Halloween head or not. And if you are, what you are looking forward to the most this Halloween. I know we've talked about past Halloweens, but this upcoming Halloween, what do you want to do? Maybe that's different, or what are you looking forward to that you do every year? I love the trick-or-treaters. And now that my kids are all older, it's funny, another thing showing cycles and seasons. When Dave and I were here, for a while, we were like, part of the young crew with the young kids, and our next door neighbor has a daughter that's the same age as our youngest. So we had the crew of kids that would go around trick-or-treating and all that. Now they're adults. And there's a bunch of new younger families that have moved in who have little kids. So now we're kind of like the older people in the neighborhood. And I love seeing the young kids come around for trick-or-treating, and they come to our house because we do full-size candy bars. But I love seeing them so excited and all dressed up. So I'm looking forward to that for sure. And Aaron says that he and Lizzie got married on Halloween. So that's definitely something to look forward to. And Lizzie says definitely our favorite holiday. get that. Absolutely. That is awesome. Halloween weddings are super cool. Did you guys dress up, like, aside from bride and groom, did you do um like special effects stuff? Because I know Erin does special effects. Like, did you do above and beyond, or was it a regular wedding on Halloween? I'm nosy. Let me know. Oh, and Tanya says, I loved Halloween when my kids were little. I'm getting excited for it again for Harper. Yes. Congratulations, Grandma. So pretty, so cute. Um, yeah, it's fun watching the next generation of kids come up, especially because I'm not, well, I used to stay and give out candy, and then my husband would take the kids around the block trick or treating. So it's fun to see the little ones and try and figure out who they are, because that's another thing that changes. Whatever's popular, the popular costume, I might not be familiar with the kids shows anymore. Um, but it's cute to see them. Erin says, we looked like we were at our funeral. Is that the photo that you posted earlier? I saw a picture of you guys as a bride and groom, and I think that might have actually been from your actual wedding, now that I know that. That's pretty cool. Okay, so then, since we're talking about weddings, what is the, like, most, what's the word I'm thinking of? Like, if you've been to a wedding that stood out for a certain reason, whether it was the dress code or if a guest did something crazy, like, what is, when you think about like crazy wedding, what is the first thing that pops in your head? Put it in the comments. Oh yeah, Tanya says that she wished she could stay home with her 24/7. I bet you do. Win the lottery, babe. You got this. I'm sending you good juju. You're gonna win the lottery so you can be with her 24/7. That would be awesome. But when it comes to weddings that are wacky or just different, there's certain things that when you go to a wedding, you kind of you expect, especially if, you're going to a Catholic wedding, or if you're going to a feasting, or, like something like that, hand fast, Wiccan wedding. Why can't I think of the word? It's hand fasting, right? I'm going to look it up because I don't want to say the wrong thing. Fasting. I was right. And then I doubted myself. I hate that. There's certain traditions that you expect, but then sometimes there's, the crazy cousin or the maid of honor, somebody that just maybe thought it was a good idea to take muscle relaxers before the wedding, like in 16 Candles. There might be something cuckoo that happened. So if you have a wedding story where somebody did something cuckoo, put it in the comments. Oh, Erin says that was an anniversary picture, but we both had contacts in our eyes that made us look dead. Freaked the judge right out. That's awesome. And that's a great wedding story. I love that. Yeah, I remember going to a wedding with a friend of mine. We just went as friends, and it was one of his best friends that was getting married. And I don't think we went to the actual wedding. I think we only went to the reception, which was in a tent in the backyard, like one of those big old tents. So we're wandering around, and then we finally, they sit down and they have everybody give the speeches, which is always, could be a time of trouble depending on how your friends and family are. So the groom's friend got up and goes on to tell a story about how he met the now wife. And it was when they were all camping, and the bride and groom, at the time were just dating, and they're putting the groceries away, while they get to the campsite. They're setting up camp. They're putting the food away, and they get in an argument. And the groom had a kibasi in his hand. And they start arguing, and he throws it at her and smacks her right in the face with this kibasi. So his friend in the toast says, so men, make sure you hit your ladies in the face with your meat and they'll marry you. And I'm like, that was your speech. So that's one I remember for sure. Um, yeah, every time I I think of anytime I have kabasi, I laugh thinking about that wedding. Um, but yeah, there's been like some cuckoo wedding stuff, and lately it seems like doing the first dance has become a big thing. Like it's not just the dance anymore. Now you bust out into like doing TikTok moves and all that, which I mean, I'm glad that I didn't have to do that because I probably wouldn't have been able to remember all the steps. But um there've been some wacky wedding stories too. There's always the time with the cake smashing that can get out of hand, or like the dancing. Sometimes the dresses get hiked up a little too far, like stuff like that. But it makes for fun stories at least. So there was something else I wanted to talk to you guys about tonight, and I'm trying to remember what it was. I am exhausted, and I'm really tired of being tired all the time. And part of me wonders if it's because I'm pushing 50, but part of me wonders, um, I had a friend bring up chronic fatigue syndrome to me earlier because my mom has that, and I didn't know if it was genetic. And I looked it up, and apparently it can be, but they don't really know that much about it. So I need to get to the bottom of this because I got plenty of sleep last night. This is ridiculous. Um, but I was like thinking about different things that kind of hit us as we're starting to get older. I haven't been able to dance in weeks, and it's aggravating, but it's because, my shoulders messed up. Like, and it blows. Like, I try to take good care of myself, but sometimes just getting older is the catalyst, and there's really nothing that we can do about it. But I'm gonna keep pushing through, and do what I can, try to keep taking care of myself. But if there was one thing that you could do when you were little that you can't do now, what would that be? Put that in the comments. Um, for me, it's probably, I don't know, like I have my shoulder, I messed up reaching behind me to close a cabinet door. And it's been weeks, like something like that. So the simple answer is like closing a cabinet. But then I think of like more fun stuff that I can't do anymore. And I'm like, like bouncing on a trampoline. Anybody who's given birth, you know what I'm talking about. Um, or like I used to do gymnastics. So I used to every few years see if I can still do a front handspring, but now I think that's probably not a smart thing to do. And I remember years ago, my friend was up from Kentucky visiting, and I took her to the shore, because she hadn't been to the Jersey Shore. I'm like, yeah, let's go to the beach. And so I'm like, I'm going to do a front handspring. So I run up the beach, and, I go and on my hands, and I flip over and I land right on my ass. And I start laughing so hard because, like, I just in the sand. Then I get up and I see this ginormous ass crater in the sand, and I started laughing even harder because I left this giant butt print when I landed. And I'd love to be able to do a front handspring still, and maybe I can. I just don't think it's smart to try, because if I can't, that may like really end in disaster. So Tanya says to have my doctor check my iron and B vitamin levels. I have had that checked, not recently. Like I have my thyroid checked, I have my vitamin levels checked and all. I need to get it done again because there has to be something, there has to be an explanation. And if there's something I can do to fix it, I want to fix it, because you get, to quote Ozzy Osbourne, I'm sick and tired of being sick and tired. Not sick, thank God, but yeah, I'm just very tired. So I will do that. I was on my insurance website today, and it's like, I had a primary care person, then they put somebody else in. It's like, I just want to go to the doctor. I don't want to jump through 800,000 hoops for it. I just want to go get checked out. So hopefully I can get that all straightened out, because I just got frustrated and closed it, which I think they count on you doing because they get their premiums whether you go or not. So I think they make it that way so you just don't bother. I think it's that way with a lot of things, actually. Aaron says, should have seen me on the set of Killer Cox. I can only imagine. I saw some photos of you guys and some videos, and you were into shenanigans. So I guarantee that was funny. And he says, Buster Keaton would have been proud. Dislocated 2 knuckles and a hip, and it was all my own fault. Oh my God. What did you do? Oh, Lizzie said it wasn't his fault. He slipped and it looked totally badass and on purpose. Well, at least if you're going to hurt yourself, it looked badass. You know, there's always the comfort in that. Like when you play it off, I remember going down the steps at church when we lived in Burlington, and there were a couple different sets of steps that would come down. The sanctuary was on the 2nd floor, and I was going down the steps just normally and completely just wiped out, went ass over teacups down the steps. And when I got to the bottom, I just jumped up and went, ta-da! So it's all in how you make it look, you know. So I'm glad that you made it look totally badass. That is awesome. But I hope you're feeling better. Jesus, dislocated 2 knuckles? Ow. Ow, be careful, my friend. That's horrible. Okay, so I'm looking for funny wedding stories. I'm looking for things you could do when you were little that you can't do anymore, but you wish you can. Aaron says he popped them all back in like 4 days later. Again, ouch. Ouch. My one hip, like I can pop out on purpose. On purpose. On purpose. And I don't know why it does that, but like if I stand a certain way, it'll pop out and it's pretty gross. But so far it pops back in. So I guess that's okay. I'll have to borrow Bob the skeleton and use him for like spare parts once mine all stop working. Oh my goodness. But yeah, there's a few things I want to look into as far as health goes, because like I said, being tired all the time, it's just, I have too much to do, you know, and I've had things like thyroid checked, and, you know, I very openly share my depression with you guys. So sometimes I wonder if it's just that, you know, I know that can make you tired. But there needs to be more answers, you know, like there has to be more ways for us to be able to take care of ourselves. And I went to my mother-in-law's doctor's appointment with her today, and the doctor was really good, but he was saying that there's a shortage in providers. And he's like, and that means that you don't always see somebody that is good. And I'm like, well, yeah, in every graduating class from medical school, there's the person that did the worst. And somewhere out in the world is the worst doctor, and someone has an appointment with them today, you know? So hopefully we all get to see people that have our well-being, and, you know, at, what's the word I'm thinking of? They're looking out for our well-being. My bestie's here. Hey, Steve. They're scanning my thyroid next week. I hope that everything's good. I hope that, you know, that it's there and it's healthy and it's, you know, doing what it's supposed to be doing. Yeah, but it's so funny because I talk about getting older all the time, and now I'm like, yep, and I'm talking about my ailments like an old person. Because every time you like hear the old people on the bench at the park, you know, they're talking about all of the things that stopped working or don't work like they used to. And I'm like, man, I'm becoming that person. I don't want to become that person. What do you guys want to talk about? Okay. So I started this podcast because of my book. And then like we never talk about the book. So I thought it would be fun if you put a number in the comments, and then I will open the book and read a sentence from that page. So there are, we're not going to do the page of notes. We don't need to do the acknowledgments either. So without those, there's 306 pages. So somebody put in a number between 1 and 306. And I will go with the first number that pops into the comments. And then I want to see what we're reading about in here. because I would like to make it into an audiobook. I need to make the time to do that and make sure that I have the right kind of tone, because this room can be a little echoey. All right, so Erin is the first one in the comments with 123. Awesome. Great number. All right. So but anyway, like, I want to make an audiobook at some point. I know people have asked for it, and I would love to do that because I myself am more of an audiobook person than a sit down and read person these days. So it is in the works. But until then, I figured I could be the audio to the book for you. So page 123. All right. Yeah, I remember this story. Okay, so it doesn't start with a sentence at the beginning. So just a little background, since it doesn't start at the beginning of the story. What I'm talking about is the club where I worked had a suite for the Eagles games, and we would give away tickets to the suite. But the contest was paper football. So I don't know, put it in the comments if you guys have ever played paper football, where you would fold a piece of paper into a triangle, and you would be on the desk or the table, and you'd flick it, and your friend would have the goalposts, and you'd have to flick it into the goalposts. Well, when we would have the contest at the club, the goalpost was my legs up in the air like this. So as you can imagine, it was quite a contest. So let's see. It says, the goalposts were my legs pointing up to the sky as I lay down spread eagle on the stage. All the customers who managed to get the football through the goalposts would advance to the next round, which would be me moving farther away. And we would eliminate contestants like that until we had one winner. Occasionally, the customer would flick the paper triangle at the exact wrong angle, resulting in my getting the point of the triangle in one of my most sensitive areas. A paper cut to the nanny hoo-hoo will wake you right up. Thongs are not paper point proof. So that's 123. Okay. So Lizzie says 273. Let's see what that one's about. The paper football game. I remember that. That's pretty funny. But yeah, like that would hurt. Okay, so 273. Oh, that's actually like the end of a chapter. I don't know if you guys can see. It's only a couple sentences. So it says blood, water, or vodka. Doesn't matter. No one can suck the life out of you without your permission, so stop granting it. There you go. I don't know what the blood, water, or vodka part was. See, this is what's so funny. I wrote this. It took me 4 years to write this book. And there was a time where my entire existence was writing, editing, rereading, and it's been a couple years. So it's like the details, like I definitely remember the stories because I feel like Pee Wee Herman, I don't need to watch it, Dottie. I lived it. But the minute details aren't as fresh anymore. So I'm just like, what the hell was I talking about there with blood, water, or vodka? Let's see. At any moment, every other person you're looking at. I must have been talking about something else in here. Find out what. Get your copy and see what the hell I was talking about. But seriously, that brings me to the great point of, first of all, you can get your copy at learnedingogo.com. But also, the older I get, the more I'm making sure that my circle is quality, not quantity. And there's definitely people in our lives that are there for a reason, and there's people that are there for a season. And sometimes when people become toxic, or even just when your paths start to go a different way, even if there's no big to do, there's no big, they did this to me or whatever, sometimes you just grow apart. So don't be afraid to cut people out. I tell people, if I cut you out of my life, you gave me the scissors, because I hang on to people for a lot longer than is probably healthy for me sometimes. Like definitely in my past, that's been a big thing. Um, but when you think about like plants and you have to prune them in order for them to grow. So when somebody's become a brown leaf in your life and, is not there to move you forward and then you move them forward, because you guys know my favorite quote, when the tide comes in, all ships rise. When someone's being an anchor, sometimes you gotta be like, okay, you're pulling me down and you're not a nice friend. And sometimes friends can become not nice friends and you have to cut them out for your own health. So I think that's what the blood, water, vodka thing was. Definitely don't be afraid. And it doesn't have to be in a mean way. It doesn't have to be an explosion or anything. Like I said, it could just be like, we just don't align anymore, and that's fine. Like there's so many people I've been like, bless and release. Like I wish you nothing but happiness. And it's just not a good fit anymore. So that is what that was about. I love you guys saying ouch and oh no, ouch about the paper cut to the nanny hoo-ha. That's, oh man, I still remember that. And Steve says he played it in 5th grade. Then, well, yeah, the adult leagues, the adult leagues of paper football. Oh, I get what you're saying. Okay. But yeah, it's funny how we remember things. I can picture the one night that the guy got me like real bad because I used to have this bikini, this thong bikini, but it was like black crochet. And it was like the point went through the crochet. Oh my God, that guy. I don't think he won the tickets, so karma got him. But I just vividly remember that outfit. That's so funny. That club had a lot of good incentives. They had the Eagles ticket, but then they also had like the local NHL team. I used to go to the suite there, and watch the games sometimes. And they may have also had basketball and baseball. I don't remember, but for a while they would have the contest to give that out. They would give out T-shirts. They made it fun for the customers. They did all those kinds of like incentive things, until it wasn't financially feasible anymore because season tickets are freaking expensive. So I wasn't surprised at all when they stopped giving away tickets for that, because that was a lot of money, but it was fun while it lasted. Yeah. Do you guys go to any sporting events near you? And if so, put it in the comments. What do you guys like to go see? I do a fantasy football league, and this started in 2010, which is crazy. But my brother-in-law had passed away, and the friend that was supposed to be in the fantasy football spot that had been my brother-in-law's decided the morning of that he didn't want to do it anymore. So they asked me if I wanted to do it. And I'm like, if you tell me what to do, I have no idea. Like, I don't know who's playing what. Like, in the first year, they were very kind because I think the first person that I picked was out for the entire season, injured, and they were all like, no. So I'm like, oh, thank you. Yeah, this far into it, if I do it, I just get laughed at like any of the other dudes. But yeah, so this is what now, end of the second week, and I am 0-2. I am the cellar dweller. I suck at this, but it's fun, so sometimes it doesn't have to be something that you're good at. You just have to enjoy it. And I enjoy it, even though I do have one championship. One year I did win, but other than that, I am typically in 8th place out of 8 of us. So, excuse me. So at least I'm consistent, even if I let the computer pick, sometimes it just doesn't. But I do like that the fantasy football league has made me more interested in watching football because I'm cheering for specific players, not just my team. So that makes it more interesting. But other sports, I'm not as into. Like I like hockey, like I like watching the Flyers games, but I mean, now my husband is very sports oriented. He watches all the things. So I watch them with him because I enjoy spending time with him. And it's I'm more into it, I guess, because I'm watching it with him. But there's other things like in life, I think it's important to sometimes say, okay, this isn't my jam, but because I want to spend time with you, I would like to learn more about it. Are there things that maybe you were never into until you met, your current partner or somebody in the past, and then because of them you've kind of gotten into it? Like it doesn't have to be sports, but um, like what's something that you've either gotten more interested in or gotten interested in general because of either a friend or a romantic partner? Um, for me, it's definitely the sports thing. And, like even we did like a NASCAR fantasy team one year, like, cause, getting, putting money on it makes it more interesting too. Oh, Erin says, I got Lizzie into hard rock and horror movies. Awesome. That is super cool. And she says, I was just about to say that. Awesome. Yeah, Dave's gotten me more into jam bands because he's, like Deadhead and likes Fish and stuff like that, where I'm more, oh, watch me knock over my whole table. I'm more into, definitely like hair metal and stuff like that. But it's because I like to sing along. So when bands go on a whole big jam session, I'm kind of like, okay, I can kind of dance a little bit, but I really want to sing again. But I'm definitely appreciating them more. And we meet in the middle with like we both like Alice in Chains and Live and like those kind of bands we both like. And then we have our kind of like satellite things that we listen to. He's gone to 2 Pink concerts with me because I absolutely adore her. And even though he's not really a fan of her music, her show is so cuckoo bananas awesome that he was excited to go again and see it. But he won't go to like Def Leppard Poison with me. He has his boundaries. But yeah, he's definitely gotten me into more of the like chill out kind of music. And we both like let's say there's certain things we both like Marvel movies we both like, but I like certain movies that he just isn't into at all, and vice versa. So it's kind of fun to have those like things you can meet in the middle, and I think it strengthens your relationship too because compromise is definitely important. Oh, Aaron says, remember the 90s, 2000s swing music comeback. I can dance like that. Really? Wouldn't figure two at with me. I don't know what that's. I'm trying to picture you swing dancing. I want to see this. You have to do a video of you and Lizzie like jump, jive, and wailing because I want to see this. But it's funny, like how there was that little time in music where everybody was doing swing dancing, and it's like I don't think anybody had that on their bingo card. It's like back in okay. So wouldn't figure me as someone that can do that. You are correct, sir. And that's why I want to see it. Like definitely take a video. Send it to me. I won't show it to anybody, I promise. I just want to see it because that's so awesome. I always wanted to do that, but I never did. And it seems like it would be super duper fun. There was also that time, it might have been around the same time where like all of the popular music was in Spanish. Like it was Mark Anthony and it was John Cicada and Enrique Iglesias and J Lo, like all of this, like, and I didn't know what I was singing, but it was fun to sing along to. And like, try to figure out what they were saying because I had no idea. But especially like at my job, they played it a lot. Like Gasolina, you'd hear all the time. Um, Erin says, you could do it. I bet you could. I would like to try. I would like to try. Once my shoulder is healed, maybe I'll see if I can find a swing dancing class around here because that would be fun. Yep. And Steve says country line dancing too. So my ex is a professional musician. So I used to go and watch some of his gigs sometimes. And he played in Atlantic City at the Marina. So they would play the country songs and people would get up and do the dances. There was this couple, hand to God, they had to be 70 if they were a day old. And they would get up and dance to Trashy Women. I like my women just a little on the trashy side. The dude would get up behind his wife and start doing this pelvic thrust thing. Oh my God. I was like, you guys rock. Like they were just living their best life and just having so much fun. And I'm like, just don't break a hip. You guys got this. Like it was just so entertaining. And I would look forward to seeing them every week because they just had the best time getting up and dancing and enjoying their life. And I was all for it. So Aaron says, huge down here in Texas, line dances 100 deep. I can picture that. It was just really funny in Jersey, like to see people doing the country line dancing was, unexpected, but they seemed to be having a really good time. And there were certain ones like, I think everybody knows Cotton Eye Joe, you can do that one. It's one, Slap Your Grandma. It's a honky tonk badonkadonk. I think there was a dance too. I'd have to see it. I could probably pick that one up. But it's funny, back to the weddings. That's what always brings everybody out are the line dances. You got your electric slide, you got your Cupid shuffle, you got the chicken dance. Do they do the chicken dance at weddings anymore? There was a dude playing it on the boardwalk this summer. He had his accordion and he was sitting on a bench on the boardwalk just busting out into the chicken dance. So of course I had to do the chicken dance when he played it. Like you can't hear the chicken dance and not start, doing it. But there was that guy and then there were a couple of guitarists. But it's funny how like we're programmed to just bust into certain dances and it's fun. It is so much fun to just like let loose like that. I didn't go to the clubs a lot back in my 20s and all that just because I had already danced for 6 hours and the last thing I wanted to do when I got off of work was go out and dance. But at weddings, it's always fun. And I seem to be the one that the other people gravitate towards. Like a wedding I went to last year, the one little girl just kept like coming up and dancing with me and we had the best time, like just doing like the Cotton Eye Joe or like the electric slide or whatever. And it was just a lot of fun just to let loose on the dance floor with this little kid. Was hilarious. Like we were just having a good time being silly. And I think it's important that we take the time to do that, that we just allow ourselves to be silly, to play. And that's what I keep saying about these movies that I've been doing. I'm playing with my friends and it's so much fun. And maybe movies aren't your thing. Maybe, you got to go do a dance. I put on the best shows in the grocery store. I don't care who's watching me. Man, like I'm just like pushing my cart and singing along and I don't care. I've had duets with pop-ups in the produce section. It doesn't matter. It's just having a good time. And make sure you take the time to do that. Play with your friends still. That's what keeps us young. People get old and crotchety when they forget how to have fun. And we can have fun like, whether it's one of my favorite things to do every summer is when I go down the shore, we all play Cards Against Humanity. And we laugh so hard, like my intestines hurt. Like it hurts that far into my stomach from laughing. And it's just the best time. And I look forward to that every year. And I look forward to the goddamn program every week. We laugh ourselves stupid, and like I love when you guys hop on here with me and we just have so much fun. Like just hanging out and talking. And I wish we all lived closer together so we could all hang out in real life because I know we'd have a blast, you know? It's so much fun. And Steve has sang karaoke with me before. Like, I don't think we've sang a song together, but we have sung karaoke in the same space. And that's a lot of fun too. I need to do that again soon. I'm not a go out to the bar karaoke person. I'm a go to my brother's house and hang out by the fire pit singing karaoke person, or like at my house singing karaoke. But it's a lot of fun. And especially like my youngest and I'll harmonize, and that makes it more fun too. Do you guys sing karaoke? Put it in the comments. And if you do, put your favorite song to sing karaoke to. And if you don't go to karaoke, but you sing in your shower, put your favorite shower number in the comments because that's the best place to sing. That's like the best acoustics in the shower. I like to put on like show tunes and pretend that I'm like in the show, That's always a lot of fun. Or Lincoln Park, I do a lot because Chester's range and mine, like I can get in his range, but I'll sing anything. I just love to sing. I'm not a great singer, but I enjoy it. So in the car, in the shower, while I'm cleaning, I'm going to be singing. I love music. I will put it on and just sing along. If you guys have seen my my daily workout videos, the music that's in the background, that's just me putting like songs on. I never know what my shuffle is going to pick. And that's half the fun. Lizzie says, Aaron's a big singer. He's way better than I am. That's okay. Have fun. Gotta have fun doing it. Steve says it is fun, and it absolutely is. Yes. Okay. So Steve did tell me, he says, did I tell you about going to Korean karaoke? He went to this place with his friend and they were advertising Korean karaoke. I believe it was at a Korean restaurant. But when he got there, it wasn't, like everybody up there singing in Korean or anything. They were separate rooms you would rent and you would have your own private room. And I'm like, well, it's kind of cool if you're with a group. But if it's just you, or if it's just like you and your friend, couldn't you do that in the living room? Like, to me, it seemed kind of silly to pay that kind of money, but maybe they had super cool equipment. So I wasn't there. But yeah, I was surprised when he told me about the separate rooms where you would sing karaoke. I remember my first karaoke experience was one of my girlfriends was turning 18 and her parents took all of us out, we were all in high school, and took us all to it was Benihana's, and so we could get delicious Asian dinner, but then they had karaoke too. So we would all cram on the little stage. There's probably like 10 or 12 of us all like squished in together like sardines on the stage. And instead of playing the actual music videos, they'd play these kind of like, homemade videos in the background of people doing whatever to the song. And I vividly remember Crazy for You by Madonna. We were going to sing that. And all of our little sardine asses are on the stage. And in the background, there's just, this couple, and she goes to talk to him, and the guy turns around and walks away. So my one friend's on the mic, and rather than singing the song, she's like, he doesn't like you. He's running away. Like, and just like singing what was going on the screen. And I thought they were going to kick us out, but it was so funny. Like, rather than singing the song we were supposed to sing, we were just acting out the videos going on behind us. I remember that. And I remember clearing out a Chili's doing my Alanis Morissette impression. So I guess it wasn't that great of an impression. Like, everybody in the restaurant left. That was kind of embarrassing. But that's probably why I like to just do karaoke in the backyard now rather than out and about, because I'm afraid that everyone's going to get up and leave. But it's still fun. I like to sing. And I know Steve's done, I want to say you were doing Zeppelin. I'm trying to remember what he was singing at my house. But I can picture it. And then my older daughter did Take on Me with her girlfriend, and that was really funny. They did a really good job with that, which I remember, mind to mouth. You guys know me. I think it, I say it. Um, I was in New Orleans. This was pre-Katrina. This was years ago. And they have this one restaurant where they were doing karaoke. All I remember about the restaurant is that their mascot was a hand grenade. And so there was this person in an inflatable hand grenade mascot costume outside. And somebody was singing Take on Me inside for karaoke. And they just like have speakers outside. They will blast you out onto Bourbon Street while you're singing karaoke. And when it got to, I'll be gone in a day. Oh yeah. It was ungood and loud. So they might they might not want to blast everybody out onto Bourbon Street because that was something. Erin says, you have to hear me and Lizzie do Human League. I would love to hear you guys do Human League. Okay. So we're all going to have to get together. We're going to do karaoke. We're going to make movies. And we're going to watch movies. And we're going to just play Cards Against Humanity. And we're just going to have a great time. We're going to have to make this happen someday. Yes, Immigrant Song. That is what you were singing, Steve. I come from the land of the ice and snow and the ice and the snow and the ice and this. I don't know the words. That's the only part I know. That's how much I know of the Immigrant Song. Yes, Lizzie, all the things we have to do, all the things. I can't wait. I want to make friendship bracelets and all that stuff. It's going to happen. It's going to be awesome. And Erin says it will happen for sure. Definitely. It's so fun. Like, I love you guys so much. And I just appreciate everybody that shows up on this podcast for me. You guys are the best. Oh, Steve, you like to do Kate Bush or you like to sing Kate Bush songs? I'm surprised my other friend's not on here because she's the biggest Kate Bush fan I've ever met in my life. And you might have just summoned her by putting that comment there. She might have gotten actually, it's late. She might not be up, but Lizzie says, especially Human League. Yes, I want to hear you guys sing Human League because it could be Don't You Want Me? It could be I'm Only Human. I'm trying to remember what other songs Human League had, but I always liked them. I thought they had fantastic makeup. I know they had more songs than that. But there's so many good 80s songs too. Like just growing up in that time, so many of those songs give me good memories when I think of them. Let's see. I'll do a video for you, only Lizzie can film me doing. Awesome. Yes. I want to see everybody singing. I love it. It just brings me joy. And I think it, when we sing, or whistle or whatever your personal preference is, I just think it makes you like happy, Steve said, is there in all of the above? Hey, if Kate's in, then you get into it's getting later. I'm getting goofy. I don't know that many Kate Bush songs. I know that she did the song with Peter Gabriel, right? Don't Give Up. I think that was the two of them. And then, of course, I'm running up the hill, from that guy, the Boost from Stranger Things, got a resurgence. And I'm like, good on her, because she made a lot of money from that song getting a resurgence. So she seems like a nice person. I'm happy for her. Oh, Erin said, you can see my musical mimic abilities. Awesome. I love that. I love seeing people doing their impressions. Like, there's so many different types of voices out there. So if you can mimic them, I think that's really cool. I can do like certain things only, like I do like the Pee Wee Herman voice and stuff like that, but I don't know if I'm any good at it. I just enjoy doing it. It's like singing, just have fun. And my one friend that joins me we call it the Zoom room. We get on a Zoom call and we work out together because she lives in New Mexico. And we just like we'll sit there lip syncing to each other and dancing in between our reps. And it's just fun. It makes it more fun. Today was cardio, and I hate cardio. Cardio is cardio. I don't dig it. But in between, like jamming out, I was having a good old time. So it definitely makes getting through the mundane things more fun if you have music playing in the background. So yeah, if you have been to a concert recently, put that in the comments. What's the last concert that you have been to? Because I was just thinking of the Pink show. That's the last one that I went to, was Pink last month. Yeah, August 18th. But there's so much good live music that's local too. Like my favorite local band is LeCompte, and Mike LeCompte is a sweetheart. Dave's known him for decades from when he used to bartend down the shore, and Mike's band was like the house band. So we hired Mike to play our wedding, and it was a party. It was not your average reception by any means. We didn't want it to be. We didn't have a cake. We didn't do a bouquet toss. We didn't do a garter toss. We didn't do the traditional dances, any of that. We rocked out, and it was a party, and it was just insanity, and it was so us, and it was perfect. Erin says, my last concert was years ago and was Alice Cooper. I have yet to see Alice Cooper live, but definitely icon. And I'm sure that the show was phenomenal. Did he still do all the props, like the big, like puppets and like all like the giant stage show? Does he still do that? Or has he kind of gotten away from that? Because you can tell that like Rob Zombie's influence from Alice Cooper because of having kind of similar types of things going on the stage. I haven't seen him live either, but I've seen videos of his live shows, and they seem to be very heavily influenced by Alice Cooper, which makes 100% sense. I get that for sure. But yeah, I've not seen him. I'm trying to think who I saw before Hank. Let's see. Erin says, did a 2-hour show and the ticket was $20. Wow. And I was in awe, and Alice didn't hold back at all. That's amazing. $20 for a concert ticket. That must have been a while ago. I hate what they charge for concert tickets. And the thing is, it's a racket, because the venue sells 2/3 of the tickets to third-party sellers before the fans can even take a sniff at them. And then the third-party sellers jack up the price by hundreds of dollars. So it's like impossible to get tickets that don't cost an arm and a leg. And the thing that I have a problem with is if I bought the tickets and then jacked up the price that much, I'd get arrested as a scalper. So why are these websites allowed to like charge you out the wazoo? I don't understand how that's legal if a regular citizen can't do it. I don't see why, like Ticketmaster's the worst of them, honestly, like how they can get away with doing it. It doesn't make any sense to me, because I love going to shows, but I just can't afford to. So we have to make sure it's like something that's not going to be around, or something that's like super duper 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 cool to spend the money on, because it just isn't in the budget. But yeah, like this weekend is the MMRBQ, the local radio station WMMR puts it on every year, and it's a festival show. And I'm still going back and forth between going, because they do have lawn seats for $25. So, that makes it affordable. It's just going across the river to the place. I don't know if I want to deal with that or not, but I will see, because since I haven't gotten a ticket and they're only $25 and they're still available at the door, I can decide on Saturday. But I know Hailstorm's going to be there, and Offspring's the big headliner. I'm trying to think who else is going to be there. but a local punk group, Froggy, is going to be playing as one of the side stage bands, and that's three teenage girls that do punk, like actual punk music. And their one song was featured in Clerks 3. And I'm like, just because they're local girls, I'm like, I'm so proud of you ladies. Like, it's just really cool to be able to say you're in a movie soundtrack when you're like 17, 18 years old. That's pretty cool. So they're going to be playing. I feel like, it's The Warning. I was thinking Larkin Poe, but it's The Warning is going to be there. Oh, shoot. It's a song I've been listening to a lot. And I think I looked it up last week too. Song's called If It Doesn't Hurt by Nothing More. I was right. Okay. That's another band that I'm learning more about them, and Sleep Theory. They're going to be there too. So there's, like shows like that are definitely worth, if you do the $25 loan ticket for sure, but even like a seat, it goes all day, so that's kind of worth it. But, I think about the Jane's Addiction show earlier this week and the people that paid to go see that, and then it got cut, halfway through the show, and then they just canceled the rest of the tour. So it's kind of like, all right, guys, get it together. You're, probably all pushing 60. Let's do your jobs. But yeah, there's, that's why in a lot of ways it's cool to go and support the local bands in your local venues, because they're more affordable to go see, and you never know who's going to be the next big act, and you got to see them way back when. So that's kind of fun too. Yeah. Cool. So I'm not getting any more concert comments or karaoke comments. So I think I'm going to wrap this up for this evening. But thank you all so, so, so much for hopping in the comments. I love you guys so much, and you make my heart so happy. Thank you so much for joining me on a Wednesday. It's going to be on Wednesdays from here on out. So that's our new night for our little hump day get together. But I want to thank you for joining me. And again, thank you to everybody who has gotten a copy of Everything I Need to Know I Learned in Go-Go. If you have not gotten your copy yet, you can at learnedingogo.com. And just remember that when life comes at you with all that crap, you got to take it head on, because when you hide your head in the sand and you think that you're hiding from your problems like an ostrich, the rest of the world just sees a big ass. Love ya.